Hey you guys, I'm Danny the Teach. This is Beauty Manifested, and I have come to a conclusion. I've come to a beautiful conclusion, which I'm sure you all already know. Here's the conclusion. It is that people are judging you. People are constantly judging you. They're always judging you. They're looking at you. They're thinking ill of you. They're praying for your downfall. People are judging you. And the more comfortable that you can get with that, and the less you can care about that, the better your life gets. Because, I can be a delusional girly. I can definitely be a delusional girly. And I was thinking, one of my affirmations is every room that I walk into, I am received with love and I am received with support. And ultimately, that's true. Because in every room, there is going to be someone who's going to love me. And I think in order to believe that, honestly, I also have to believe the opposite, which is that in every room I walk into, there's somebody who's hating on me. That's just the facts. Like, everybody is not rooting for me. Everyone's not my friend. And that's okay because we're all here living a collective experience where we get to live and then report back to other people. And I didn't come up with this on my own. I just got that from a podcast I was listening to. Like, you're supposed to live and then report back. And to me, that made perfect sense. I was like, wow, I feel like that's exactly what it is. Like, that really, really resonated. And that kind of inspired me on my little YouTube journey, because I've shared on here before and I've also shared on TikTok that at least once every single day I want to go through and delete every single video I have because I feel embarrassed. Because I'm a Virgo, I have a lot of Virgo placements, and I have this desire to be Little Miss Perfect. Except for, it's crazy because I actually don't have the desire to be Little Miss Perfect. I'm very far from perfect. If you can see right now, part of this realization I have, people are going to judge me. My room's a disaster. I've been traveling a lot. I've been out of town every weekend. And before I have time to unpack from the trip, I'm already going on another trip. So yeah, my room's a disaster. You guys can see it. You can judge me. It is what it is. So I actually don't have a desire to be Little Miss Perfect. I'm far from it, actually. Not perfect at all. People don't really control me. I do whatever I want to do. However, I do have a desire to present myself as Little Miss Perfect. When I tell you I'm literally the bougiest person you'll ever meet, but not actually. I enjoy a good ghetto time if I'm with the right good ghetto people. And honestly, don't tell anybody, but I really am from Detroit. People don't think that I'm really from Detroit for real, because I did grow up in the suburbs, but I really am from Detroit. My formative years, 1 through 7, were primarily in the streets of Detroit. And those were my primary years. I grew up cussing, walking to corner stores, running from pit bulls, talking to boys. I'm talking about 1 through 7. Talking to boys, getting my bike stole, living my best life. I'm really from Detroit. But people don't tell anybody that. Don't tell anybody that. But those are my formative years. And so I feel although externally I present this very well put together, high maintenance woman, and I am that, one should not forget that the inner workings of my mind are still pretty Detroit. A lot of things don't make sense to me. For example, we were in Detroit, right? And we went to this restaurant. It was delicious. It was a cute little restaurant. It kind of reminded me of there's this thing in Fort Worth, I think at University Park, and they have the food hall. It was a food hall. So we went there, and it was a man taking parking tickets. He was sitting in the parking booth, and then you give him $20, and then he shows you a parking spot. Which is something I grew up on, obviously. But now that I've been living in Dallas for so long, I was like, why would they ever have a physical, parking person? That seems like such a waste of payroll. It seems like such a waste of life. It's 2023. Why would he have to just be sitting there? And that's what my little privileged Dallas mind said, because Dallas is pretty bougie. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all really don't even understand the inner workings of my mind, because you're just not where I'm from. And that's why I have so much love for other people and other cultures, because we're all different, and I can respect everyone's outlook, because I know already that everyone doesn't think like me. Most people don't. And when I meet someone who's from my city, it's cool because I know that we had like a similar experience. So, anyways, I told my friends, I was like, why would somebody ever be sitting here passing out tickets in 2023? So then my friend went on to explain to me that because this is the only nice thing in this area, they have to do that because the scammers will quickly get out. Like if they just have the robot thing, the scammers would quickly come out and put a credit card scanner on that and steal all the money and the people's like identity and stuff, and it would just be like a whole big thing. And then it would be bad for business because people would be like, you can't go there because they're always scamming. So the best way to protect profits is to just have a physical person out there. And I was like, oh, like that thought never even occurred to me, because I guess there's not as many credit card scammers in Dallas. And don't get me wrong, like there's still scammers, but I think they're just like a little more polished, a little bit more polished scammers. Like they're doing a little more like cyber hacking and things like that you can do from the safety of your room. They're not out here putting like credit card scammers on things. But I was like, huh, very interesting. I respect the scam, I really do. And it made sense. But like that's just an example of something that didn't really make sense to me because I didn't grow up in that kind of environment exactly. So it's interesting. Like even I have a friend who's from Brooklyn, and he was talking about how he used to be a lot more like vigilant, and since living in Dallas, because he's been here a while, I think even longer than me, and I've been here 6 years. He used to be a lot more vigilant, but he's gotten kind of soft in the past few years, and now he doesn't even lock his car. And I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was really funny. So, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, people are gonna judge you. People are gonna dislike you. Like, not everyone's gonna see life the same way that you see life. And honestly, who cares about those people? Like, those people are not for you. And I know, like, that sounds so just like stereotypical or whatever y'all be saying. It sounds so cliche. That's what y'all be saying. And it is. It is cliche. However, it's the truth. It's really the truth. I shock myself with how beautiful and gorgeous I am. And I'm just as gorgeous when I wake up as after I put on my full face of makeup. Like, cute little sweet girl. Sexy. But anyways, the people are gonna judge you, and I feel like I have a more, like, I go through so much stuff. Like, one thing about me is I'm about that action. I really am. Like, I'm not somebody who just sits in the house and talks about it. Like, I really take radical moves. Like, I really be up to shit. Like, so much so that, like, because this is just who I am and this is just the way that I live, I don't even really think about it like that. But then other people, they'll be like, Danny, I feel like you're always on the move. I feel like you're always up to something. Like, I feel like you travel so much. And I'm like, I don't even travel. Like, I don't even be going nowhere. Like, man, I really need to be outside. Like, I've been thinking I need to do more. I've been thinking, like, I want to be a socialite. I want to be well connected. I want to make friends. Mind you, every time I go to an event, it could be a brand new event. Somebody could invite me to their birthday party. I just met them yesterday. And I'm going to see people I know. Like, because I'm already living this life. But I guess I don't give myself enough credit for it because, like, this is just what I do. But other people give me confirmation and validation that, yeah, like, I really be out here. Like, I travel a little bit, like, probably once a month. And to me, like, that's not really a lot. And also, like, I'd be traveling domestically. I'd be LA, Miami, Detroit, Chicago'd up. But I'm trying to be in Turks and Caicos for free on a vacation. So to me, like, it's just not that much happening. Like, it's not a lot of moving and shaking going on. But I get to other people, it looks like more. So, and that's why I am devoted to sharing my life online, even when it's embarrassing, even when it's shameful, even when I mess up, like all of it. I'm gonna just share it because honestly, worst case scenario, people judge me. Best case scenario, people resonate with me. And it's gonna be both because some people are gonna resonate and some people are gonna judge. And the people who judge, well, I mean, everyone's gonna judge, but whatever. They're just not for me. Because somebody has something to learn from me. And I have something to learn from somebody. And if we're all hiding and trying to not get embarrassed, we're just really doing the world a disservice. Like I have a universal duty. I have a moral obligation to share my hardships with y'all so that you don't have to endure the same thing. And so I've made the decision to just live out loud. Like, we're just out here. I'm just outside. Like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. And I'm just gonna talk about it on the internet because I deserve it. Because I deserve it. But what else has been going on in the world? Let's talk about icks. Let's talk about icks with men. Okay, so for me, I do know that there's like a DL epidemic, and by DL I mean like gay men who date women. And I'm not even talking about like bisexual or anything. I'm talking DL, like they're being very secretive about it. Like they low-key mess with men, but they don't want you to know that, and they're talking to women. And I believe that it absolutely is an epidemic. And so me, like I said, I'm from Detroit, and I was just listening to a Nigerian podcaster, Ike Slimster. He's such a cutie pie, like, but it's kind of embarrassing at the same time because it's okay if I'm talking about him, I think. But like, I used to have this thing where I love the artistic man. Like he said he used to go to like poetry things. That's exactly where I would have met my man at, like at a poetry, like live music, little hole in the wall type thing. But unfortunately, I have been deeply scarred by men of an artistic character, and now I want the artist to stay far away from me. But I like listening to Ike's podcast because it reminds me of a younger and more innocent me who totally used to just like fall head over heels in love with a poetic, sweet, artistic, thoughtful man, right? So I really like his podcast. And he was talking about how Nigerian culture, like the kind of TV shows they grew up, made them be a more persistent man. Like the culture of it is that like, yeah, the woman's gonna be like, no, no, no. And the man's gonna push, push, push. And that's like basically just how you get a woman. And eventually if you push and push and push long enough, she's gonna take that persistence as a compliment. And then you're gonna get the girl and live happily ever after. And that is also the culture that I grew up on. Like, first of all, I was born beautiful. I've always been the cute girl. I always was the girl the boys on the block was trying to get with. So I had little childhood crushes or whatever. I didn't have a crush on them. They had crushes on me. And I didn't like them. Like, I honestly thought they were a nuisance. But every single day, like clockwork, they're knocking on my granny's door. They're harassing me on the street. They're pinching my butt. Like, just all this drama. Like, all this drama they're causing me in my life. And quite frankly, it was very annoying. But in the back of my little heart, I actually thought it was sweet. And the boys like you more when you don't like them. And that has held true to this day. I don't know what the issue is with these men. Like, I don't know why it has to be like that. It's quite frankly pretty annoying. But I noticed that the less you like them, the more they like you. The more you go somewhere just to have fun with your girls or just to have fun by yourself and you're just not paying attention or thinking about men, the more that they're just on you like flies. So there's that. And the boys were getting on my nerves, but secretly, I really liked it. Because it was just like always someone coming after me, and it was just like a fun teasing little game. Like, I'm running, he's chasing, we're having a good time. Like, I just really liked it. But as we've gotten older, I still date men like that because it's now ingrained in me. It's really ingrained in me to desire men who desire me. Like, if someone asks me my type, like, my type is somebody who really likes me. Someone who makes me feel really special, really good, and I know without a doubt that he's, like, obsessed with me. Like, I don't like nonchalant men. And just to experiment a little bit, like, trust me, I have experimented. So I've experienced nonchalant men, and it gave me, like, deep anxiety, like, very deep anxiety. Lots of trauma. And I realized, not lots of trauma, honestly. It was just, like, something I did just for funsies. And even while I had the nonchalant man, I also had the good ones. So it wasn't that traumatic. But anyways, my mind, because of those early experiences I had, thank you God, has been wired to like men who like me, which is good, because I think some women had different experiences and so they're not wired like that. So, but I'm wired like that. So an ick for me in men are these men, this is so bad, I shouldn't even put this online, but I've already committed to sharing my truth. And like, when a man is like too like put together, for lack of better words, too put together, I do see it as gay. I think it's gay. I'm sorry. It's just gay. I know. And men are always complaining about how women are weaponizing a man's sexuality against him. And they're probably right. And I'm sorry that that's happening to you. However, I have to express how I really feel, and like, a lot of men just giving gay vibes. Like, it's just something about it. Like, if he's too pretty, gay. Gay. If he talks too much like me, like, there's something in me, I will hey girl a man so fast. If I get a feminine energy from you, like, if you're trying to ha kiki with me too much, like, you're not like I need a man to be like, like a gay man, hey girl. All of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that. If he's too much like, oh, I like your dress, and like, he's just being too soft with me, I'm gonna be like, thanks girl. And I'm like, I didn't mean to say that to you. But the reason I said that to him, and it really was an accident, is because he was acting like one of my homegirls. Like, don't approach me the way that I would approach a woman, like the way that I would approach a woman, and I'm not gay or anything like that, like, but I'm friendly. So just to make a friend, oh my gosh girl, you look so cute today, oh my gosh girl, you have the sweetest voice, oh my gosh girl, no. So therefore, a man definitely don't need to be coming up to me talking about, you are so beautiful. I'm like, thank you, thanks. It's like, I don't know. It's not what you do, it's who's doing it and how you do it, and like the energy that you're carrying, because I cannot explain it. All I know is that some guys, they make me want to hey girl them. They really do. They make me want to hey girl them. And it's honestly a crazy phenomenon. I don't want this video to go too long, but it's a crazy phenomenon on like what is the magic key? Because, for example, some guys, and this is so embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna say it anyways. People are gonna judge me. It's fine. So, some men throughout my life, I am not, like, physical touch is actually my love language. However, not with everybody. Mostly with nobody. But sometimes, like, it is. So one guy, this is recent, he was trying to, like, dance with me and stuff like that, like, behind me. Like, he was trying to dance behind me. And, like, I gave him, like, I felt really safe with him. He was, like, a big man, so I gave him, like, all of my weight like this. But I kept my hips forward so that it wasn't any, like, his junk wasn't on my trunk, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I kept a little distance. And it was very sweet, very wholesome, very wonderful. And I felt comfortable with that. But I made sure to keep readjusting so that his junk wouldn't be on my trunk. And also, just to add to that, I love a big belly man. As I get older, I just really start to appreciate a big belly man. Like, I used to love skinny men. I used to like basketball players. And that's just not for me anymore. Like, I like a big belly man. So anyways, I was keeping distance. But then I met a different man the next day. And mind you, already, okay, so the next day I decided to go to the festival by myself because I just wanted to be able to roam and be free. The day before I had gone with someone else and I felt like I was on their time. I was going where they wanted to go and I just didn't feel like independent. So this time I wanted to be an independent queen. So I went by myself and I felt like I could connect with more people by myself. So that's what I did. And men were coming for me all day and I wasn't giving them the time. Like, I was grateful if they wanted to get me a drink or say hello. Like, you know, I'm nice to everybody, but I wasn't giving them the time. But then this one man came up to me and he was like he grabbed me and he scared me. And I was like, you scared me. And he was like, I'm sorry. I tried to grab you like as gently as possible. But I just had to come talk to you. And I was like, oh. And then he was with his friend and I was talking to him and his friend came up and he was like, is this man bothering you? And I was like, no. Like, he's actually kind of sweet. You know? And I wouldn't have done that for the other guys. I would have been like, help, save me. But for him, something just felt different. And he's like, okay, well, let me just like walk you over here. And I was like, okay, you can walk me over here. So then he walked me over there. And then it was just so cute. Yeah, no, so then he walked me over there and he's like, who are you with? And I was like, I came by myself. He's like, okay, I'll linger. So then he lingered and he was dancing by me and he wasn't being creepy at all. So I was like, wow, I really like him. And he told me he was trying to like set the vibe. Oh, I guess I'll say that after. Okay, so he was being like such a sweetie. He wasn't creeping me out. He was just like keeping my company and his presence was honestly great. And then when I wanted a drink, I told him like, will you come with me to get a drink? Or I think I might have told him, will you go get me a drink? And he told me I had to come with him. And I was like, fine, I'll come with you. So I went with him, got a drink. And everything was going great. We got the drink and then we went back and then we were dancing. We were being so cute. We were having a great time. And then I told him, and then we went there and then we went here and we went there. We went everywhere. We got more drinks. And then, I don't know if I have to tell the whole story, but I'm telling it. We got more drinks. We were just having a good time. Like, honestly, I was really enjoying him. And then my feet were hurting, so we went and we sat down. He was rubbing my feet and we were talking, we were bonding, and then we met his friend and it was just great. Everything was happening. And that's when he told me about like the experience. So he's like, so you walked past me and I was just gonna focus on the bachelor party because I was here with my friends, but I was like, no man, like I can't let this one go. So then he ran up to me. Yeah. So then he ran up to me and he was like, hey girl, what's your name? And then we end up spending the whole day together. And then yeah, we ended up spending the whole day together. And then he was like, and I was really trying to make it feel like you could leave at any time. And honestly, I felt that. Like, I felt like I didn't feel like he was clinging to me at all. I felt like we were just two people experiencing each other and having a good time. And I think he could tell I wasn't clinging to him either. It was just like two people having a good time. Like, either one of us could leave at any time. And that was important. That was important. Like, I feel like that's why I couldn't give the other guys the time of day, because I didn't feel safe with them. Like, I didn't feel like I could leave at any time. I felt like if he bought me a drink or something, he was gonna think he owned me, which is concerning. But with this guy, because he came at me in kind of like a nonchalant way, like, hey, I'm gonna be a perfect gentleman, I want to spend time with you. Like, he made me feel like he wanted to be there, but he doesn't have to be there. And I feel like just the energy of that, like the embodiment of that, is what got him in the door. Because I'm telling you, at least 5 or 6 other guys had already tried to be with me that day. and I wasn't going for it. But with this guy, I ended up spending the entire day with him, and I had a wonderful time. So I would say that was a success for him. I don't know if it was, yeah, it was just perfect. It was just perfect. It was a dream come true. And I left the weekend feeling like I love men. I love men. They're so good to me. I could literally just not ask for anything more. Thank you, God. Thank you for the men. Peace. That was my story time. Love you guys.